Katie. Today, I'm very excited to have her here. My son actually took classes and she substituted, was with Jeremy when he was here in Colorado. So Katie Couch received a bachelor's degree in piano performance and a master's degree in music education from CU. She studied Dalcrose pedagogy for 7 years, culminating in a year in Geneva, Switzerland at the Institute Couch Dalcrose. Before having children, she taught Dalcrose and piano lessons throughout the Front Range and gave workshops around the country, frequently at Suzuki Summer Institutes. She serves on the board of trustees at the Dalcrose Society of America and runs the Dalcrose Connections magazine and blog. And we're so excited to have you here. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you. All right, so I'm just going to jump right into it. In Dalcrose, we usually do first and then talk later. Okay. So are you guys ready to get started? So find a comfortable seated position. Hi, welcome. Here's a seat right here for you. So make sure both of your feet are flat on the floor, and you can arrange yourself so your sits bones, you can sense them, so your posture can be really aligned. And this is our resting position. Okay, yes, you can take deep breaths if you want to. We're gonna call this home. Harmonies are we playing with? Just two. There's the resting position one, which we're going to play this game again. And can you make it really clear to me that you know that this is the resting position harmony by putting both of your hands on your knees? That way I know that you know. But the other harmony, which we're not going to name right now, what can we do so we're all doing the same thing? What really embodies that second harmony that I added? I saw some people stretching back. I saw some people kind of turning their heads like this. What did you do, Charlotte?
Yeah, I kind of
stretched back. Should we all agree? When you hear that second harmony, we'll all stretch our arms back. Maybe, can you do that without hitting your neighbor? And does that feel okay on everyone's shoulders? Okay, so it's kind of like you can show your muscles, our stretching, our strong harmony. Okay? Yes, and when it goes back to the first one, go back to this. Make sense? And if you're not sure which harmony it is, you can look around at other people and do what they're doing. describe the harmony that goes with this position without musical words. Calm, relaxed, peaceful, and I think how you're embodying that reflects those words, right? And what words can describe this harmony?
Open.
Open,
Joyful.
big, joyful. Anything else? Would you call it strong?
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm playing it strong too. I'm playing it a little more forte. Let's use musical words now. What word can we use to describe this harmony in music theory land? Tonic. This is the tonic. What's another word, maybe?
Home.
Home, good. And how about this chord?
Away.
Away, dominant. 5/7. That's right. We're playing a game with tonic and dominant 7, or 1 and 5. And we're going to use these symbols for those 1 and 5. But since it's a 5/7, I might go like this, because that shows it's a 7th chord. We have this whole language for harmonies with our fingers, and curved fingers mean 7ths. Okay? So are you ready to add another harmony? So just like before, I'll play the chords, you're going to show me what you hear, and when you hear a new harmony, find a new way to show it, okay? And it should be pretty different than what we're already doing. That way I can really tell that you hear the difference. So some other things you might be able to do are maybe stand up, maybe go behind your chair, maybe switch chairs with somebody, maybe you could like fall forward. Okay, so something that's pretty different than what we're already doing. Make sense? And then we'll all decide on one to do together. Go. Thank you. So strong. We're gonna keep showing like this. Hands on your knees. Love it. We all decided. We all agreed on falling forward. Notice how I'm making the changes a little bit quicker. Good. This is our setting up. Charlotte's got it. I did something a little bit tricky there at the end. I played a tonic chord, but it didn't quite sound like a tonic chord, so I went right into that. We're going to talk about that later. As we add more and more harmonies, it's going to get confusing, especially if you don't have perfect pitch. So it's important to think about the words that these harmonies sound like. So the new harmony, how can we describe that with adjectives? Say it again. Sad. Dark. What would you say?
Me.
Yes. The one where we were
Gentler.
gentler. I love that. Yes.
Mysterious.
Mysterious. Good. Uneasy. Interesting. Yeah, I love all these words. So if you're playing this game and you're like, I don't really know, maybe you could think about some of these words that we're saying. And I could write them down too, in case we get a little bit lost. Using a music word, how could we describe this falling over chord? Minor. Good. Which one?
I think it's minor 6.
It is. It's the 6th chord. And we're going to show 6 like this with our hands today. In mainland China, that's how people show 6. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we've adopted this into the Dalcrose that I practice, so you can use one hand. Okay? And then we show 7 like this in Dalcrose land. But in China, this is 7. So we're not going to be using the 7 chord, but just in case you're curious. So we're going to be showing 7 in Dalcrose,
Okay.
solfege.
Just
Yes.
to make sure I had it.
Yeah. I should do it with this hand. Okay. Shall we add another harmony? Okay. I only know Charlotte, I don't want to pick on her. Can everyone tell me their name? Mitzi? And what's your name?
Carol.
Carol?
Mariana.
Mariana?
Hannah.
Hannah?
Oh, Shari.
Abby.
Melanie.
Melanie, okay, great. So we can say, watch Melanie or watch Carol.
Amy.
And Amy, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, are you okay with standing up for that new chord?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? You might need to be sitting on the front of your chair so you can really get up there quickly. It's a little bit of a workout. I like the idea of standing up for that harmony because this harmony feels really open to me and like the sun came out. But how else would you describe that one?
Refreshing.
Refreshing, I love that, yeah.
New.
New, is that because it's the newest chord in this game?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Musically, how could we describe it?
4.
It's the 4 chord. Good. So I'm just gonna start making a little list over here. There's one more harmony I want to add to this game. We'll see. So we've got the 1 chord, which is the tonic. And what are some, just like 3 descriptive words for tonic? Home. Home.
Restful.
Restful. Let's see, what would you say?
I was going to say home. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Anybody else?
Keynote or something like that?
Keynote. Interesting.
At peace?
At peace.
Huh.
I like that.
I like to say tonal center too.
Okay.
And we're talking about the major, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're all in major
All in
right
major.
now. Mm-hmm. Okay. The next harmony we added was dominant 7. Some words for this one? Big.
Contrasting.
Yes.
Unstable.
I love that.
Tell my students sometimes it's the Hansel and Gretel chord because you got lost in the woods and you got better go back
Oh,
home.
okay. Did I write lost?
That's fine.
Dominant.
Dominant.
Strong.
Strong. I think that's the word I like to use with my students. Okay, any others? What was the next chord I added? 6. It's dark, so we'll write it as lowercase.
Uneasy.
Uneasy.
I did mysterious.
Sad.
Curious.
And someone said dark earlier. Any others? And we just added our standing chord, 4, and a few words. Open.
Joyful.
Sunrise.
Subdominant.
Subdominant.
Somebody had to get musical.
Well, I saw
I
the other
realize you don't have the
ones.
music theory word for this chord. Does anyone know its descriptive name?
Submedian.
Submediate, yes. All right. Yes.
Word I never used.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I agree.
I think because subdominant makes more, like to kids, subdominant makes more sense because it's below the dominant, but mediate and submediate don't make as much sense.
Yeah. I was taught that it's called subdominant because it's dominant means a 5th above tonic and subdominant means a 5th below tonic.
Yeah, it's in relation to the tonic, but
Yes.
like kids don't, like they like make that connection,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, as did I for a long
Yes.
time. Yeah. Got it. For our last harmony, I'd like us to switch chairs. Okay? In whatever way, if you just want to scoot down to the right. Not yet, not until you hear it.
To run.
You can switch with your partner. Just we'll move around a little bit. All right?
Musical chairs.
Yes. There you go.
Which one are we doing it for? The 4?
The new one.
The new one.
Oh, you don't know that, right?
The forest. Okay. As games like this progress, I try to make the changes happen quicker and quicker. So be ready for that. Okay, I was playing like 16 bars of tonic at the beginning, but now it might just be like 1 bar of tonic. Yes, you got it. perfect pitch can like, they're like, this is so easy. They get to show off their perfect pitch.
I just love those people with perfect pitch.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad there were other people in music class that were feeling the same thing as me. These guys are just like,
Yes.
once.
Okay, the new chord, before we name it, let's, with Roman numerals, let's name it in terms of how it's adjectives. Is it dark or bright?
Dark.
It's dark. It's different dark than this one.
Yeah.
How is it different, would you say?
Can you play them side by
Sure.
side?
here's our 6th chord. And our new chord. Do you think it's darker?
I think it's a more comfortable dark.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Comfy dark.
Comfy dark? Less dark? That's so interesting.
It's a little more uplifting or something.
Huh. I love these. More uplifting. Uplifting than the 6th chord?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Is it a 2?
It's a 2 chord, yes.
It's
Someone
sort
had
of like
guessed it.
off-putting, or like we're having a ride, like we're maybe going on a journey or something.
Like going in a new direction? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Interesting. Anything
I
else?
guess it feels more away from home than other ones. I guess.
Oh, I'm totally the opposite.
And that's okay.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah,
okay because we
of
all
course.
perceive music differently.
Yes.
How would you describe it?
Well, I said comfy. It's a, yeah.
To me, I think like this one's like purple, like dark purple, and this one's like black. I don't know. I think this one is darker. That's just, it's more minor to me. I don't know, but they're both like minor chords. It's just, they're different. Anything else about the 2 chord? What's its descriptive music theory name? I mean, dominant, supertonic.
We don't hear the 2 chord as much as we hear the 6 chord. And I
Except
think,
if you play jazz.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to be using the 2 chord. So I ended with a little pattern there. Can anyone show me the pattern with your gestures? Did you catch the pattern? I'll show it to you. Okay, should we do it together? It starts with this. And then we do what? 6. Next. And then, so we'll switch. Let me just all go down one. And someone can go to the piano. Good. Did you switch spots? Let's do it one more time. We can say it now. 1, 6, 4, 2. Good. This is a chord progression we're going to be working with today. You can have a seat. You can go back to your regular seat. I'm just going to erase 5 because it doesn't fit into that progression I just showed you, right? The progression we're going to be working with is 1, 6, 4, and 2. That's part of a chord progression that I'm teaching you. When Anne Laird asked me to come present today, she asked me to present on the topic of improvisation in the piano lesson. So this is the beginning of a chord progression I'm going to be introducing that you can use to accompany your students when they're improvising. Okay, so I'm going to show you one of these chords now, 1, 6, 4, or 2, and I'd like you to sing. You're going to provide the music now, so you're going to sing one of those pitches, okay? So if I show you 1, can anyone sing where is tonic, the tonic note? Do you still have it in your ear? 1. You can sing any of these notes. Okay, you can sing a la 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 la, or it can be down here, or any pitch. Okay, it can be anywhere in the range. Make sense? Ready? How do we feel about singing? Do you want to do a vocal warm up? Are we ready to sing? Here we go. La, you can sing la or la or la, or we can sing it on do. Let's try it on do. Do, 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 do. Good, let's arpeggiate them for now so we can have all the pitches. What are the pitches for this chord? Starting on, what's the root of this chord? If this is 1, what's the root of this chord? I will arpeggiate. La, 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 la. And you can use your hand to show me the pitches in space, just like I was showing you, so you can really embody those pitches. Let's try it. La, 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 la. Beautiful. La, 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 la. And now we're getting kind of low, so maybe we'll move up the octave to this chord. We'll go up here if you want to. Here we go. La, 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 la. Makes sense? Okay. Do we like singing on la or do? Or would we be more comfortable singing with C, E, G with letters? Or do, mi? Anyone have a preference? Or 1, 3, 4? Solfege syllables? Do, mi, sol? Okay. Let's try it. Yes. Well, we're in C major, so it'll both be movable and fixed toe. Ready? So we'll do solfege. We'll arpeggiate these all together. Ready? So you can show me the chord with one hand, and you can show me the pitches as you're arpeggiating the other hand. Ready? Here we go. Do, mi, sol, do. La, do, mi, la. Good. Fa, la, do, fa. Re, fa, la, re. Beautiful. And we'll just finish on a tonic because we're only beginning. Do, mi, sol, do. All right. I appreciate the solfege syllables, but I don't use them really in my teaching, and I don't think about solfege syllables when I'm playing piano. I don't think that's do or that's mi or sol. I usually think of the music at the piano as letters or numbers, which movable do is the same thing as numbers, scale numbers. So let's choose one of those, letters or numbers, to try next.
Numbers.
Numbers? Okay, so do is 1, C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, so la is 6 and fa is 4. Should we try it and see if that's a little more comfortable? And if it's not, you can just sing a do 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 or la 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 la. Got it? So this time I'll show you the chord. We'll arpeggiate with the numbers. Here we go. 1, 3, 5, 1. 6, 1, 3, 6. Beautiful. 4, 6, 1, 4. 2, 4, 6, 2. Good. Should we do a 5? 5, 7, yes. 5, 7, 2, 4. We'll resolve it. 1, 3, 5, 1. Nicely done. I'm playing the piano less as you guys are getting better at finding these pitches with your voice, so that's wonderful. Let's do it again. This time, pick any of those numbers. So we'll all just sing a chord, and hopefully some people sing the third and some people sing the fifth of each chord. But if you can't find that, just sing the root. Or sing anything on la. Okay, but we're gonna just make a big chord instead of arpeggiating. You ready? 3. Can I use more ones, please? 3. So that was kind of nice. Anybody else notice that? Yeah. Is this scary for anybody?
A little bit.
A little bit. Singing is very vulnerable, I think. It really, do you agree? You're a trained singer.
Yeah, it certainly can be if you're not used to it. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have an instrument to hide behind.
Yes. Yes, I agree with that. In Dalcrose work, we do a lot of singing because in Dalcrose philosophy, your body is your first instrument, and if your body can be musical, like with musical movement and your rhythmic movement and lots of solfege singing, you can take that to your instrument and enhance your instrumental playing. So that's a bit of why we're doing a little solfege singing right now.
How do you get people students to sing if they can't match pitch at all?
Well, I would start with teaching them how to match pitch.
Okay.
I think that question depends on if they're a brand new student or like a transfer student. So with brand new students, I have them singing right from the beginning, singing everything that they play, the finger numbers or the lyrics to the songs. And just the more that you sing, I think it's a muscle. The more that you sing, the stronger it gets and the more it is able to match pitch. I'm not a trained singer though. Does that answer your question a little bit?
Yeah, I just have a hard time with my students,
Yes.
even wanting to try to, and some of them, they just try to match pitch and they can't.
Oh, well, we'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
Because I want to try something new now. If I were to show you this, what do you think that means? So this means tonic. This also means tonic.
It looks like me, it's almost like.
Oh, it's not the carbon hand sign. No, we're going to stay in C major. So if this is 1, 3, 5, this is 3, 5, 1.
First inversion.
First inversion. And what's this chord? Can we sing it? 2, 4, 6. But this would be 4, 6, 2. And what would this be? 5, 1.
Oh.
So what is that?
Second
inversion. And second inversion tonic usually goes to 5, 7, 2. You can drop the octave if you need to. 4, 6, 1, 3. Okay, so we're gonna do this same singing through the chords again, but I might throw in this.
Okay.
But it actually doesn't really matter because you're not arpeggiating anymore, you're just singing a pitch from the chord anyway. So if I showed you this and this, you might just be on the same pitch. But this will be coming up later. Does that make sense? The 1, 6 and the 2, 6. Any questions? Let's try singing one more time. Do you want to sing on numbers still, or should we change to letters?
Numbers?
Numbers are fine? Okay, here we go. So you're picking one pitch. 3, 5, 6, 1. Good, you can hear what pitches are missing and try to fill them in. This is our 1, 6, so it's a tonic chord. 3, 5, 1, 3, or 5. Oh, this is the 2 chord, just on its side. Okay. Nicely done. I think it's getting a little bit tricky now, so let's make it a little bit easier. I'm gonna erase some of this. What did you notice during that game as I'm erasing this? The inversions were quite tricky. Is it because the signs are so new? Or it's just kind of hard to find the pitches? It's because this is translating what this means right away. Yes, that makes sense. We'll leave that for a second. We might leave that for the rest of the day. This progression that I'm showing you, it's probably familiar. It's not like I'm teaching you a brand new progression. It starts with this segment of 4 chords, and that's fine, right? And then it ends with, what's this one again?
1, 6.
Ones, we can call that 1, 6. And then 2, 6. And it ends with
5, 7.
a cadence. So this is a really nice 8-bar progression that we study a lot in Dalcrose improv. If you're new to Dalcrose, it's taught through piano improv. So people who are trained to become Dalcrose teachers do a lot of training in improvisation to lead your rhythmic exercises in the class. And this is one of the progressions that we practice a lot because it's really, once you get it under your fingers, it's really versatile and useful for all sorts of types of music. So I thought I'd introduce it to you today. These 4 chords, how are they related? What's the pattern of those 4 chords?
Down a third.
They're each down a third, that's right. So this progression is called the descending thirds progression. We also studied the descending fifths progression quite a bit, but that one's really hard to play. And if we did that today, I'd have to teach you all of the 7 chords in the diatonic scale, and that would have been a lot. So I just wanted to focus on this one. This only uses 5 different harmonies. So it starts with a progression of descending thirds, and then it has this kind of march towards the cadence, a 1-6, a 2-6, a 5-7, and a 1. Now, when you have a 1-6 chord, what, in C major, what letter is in the bass? What letter is in the bottom of a 1-6?
E.
3 or E, yeah.
Excuse me.
What
Thank
letter
you.
is in the bass
Thank
of
you.
a 2-6 chord in C major? F. It's F-A-D. And how about we're in C major, what's the root? G. And then we've got, of course, C. So it has this nice little stepwise motion. What's in the bass of the 2 chord? D. So you can see we have a stepwise motion towards tonic. That's why we finish our descending thirds with this part of the progression. You might as well fill in all these letters. What's this one gonna be? A. And right here?
F.
F. Knowing this, and I have a handout for you guys too with this information on it. So, knowing this, can we try singing that progression one more time? Because I want to add one more layer, but I want to make sure everyone's feeling comfortable with it. We're only going to be singing for like 2 more minutes, and then we're going to take it to the piano. We're going to try playing it on the piano. Are we ready to sing it one more time? Any questions or thoughts, or anything that's helping you that might help other people? Should we just try it? I'm trying to drop out on the piano so we can really provide the harmonies ourselves. But I'll be here in case we need those back. All right, so what's your starting pitch? Are you going to be singing a C, E, or a G? I guess we were doing numbers that time. We should probably stay on numbers to make it easier. Let's write these numbers in. Can you tell me what numbers to write?
1, 6, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you. And I don't have all the numbers. Should I write in all the numbers for each chord? Will that make it easier? Okay, why not? By the way, these little carrots, those mean scale degrees. Because there are so many numbers in music, it can get confusing. Okay, so the numbers for this chord are 1.
Is that universal in anything else?
I think so.
I've never seen it.
Oh, or sometimes I see it just written like that. I've seen it.
Huh.
So what are the other options for the tonic chord? We have 1,
3,
3,
5,
5. We'll just keep it with 1, 1. 6, 1, 3, 4, 6, 1, 2, 4. Oops, 4, 6, 3, 5, 1, 4, 6, 1. I'm gonna go down to 5, 7, 2, 4, 1, 3, 5. I won't add all the carrots to those. Is that clear? Did I make any mistakes? Just erase this.
Yes,
It let you
it's
sit.
4, 6, 2.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sitting there thinking, what am I missing?
Yes. I always make a mistake when I'm writing a bunch of stuff at the board.
Talking and we're
Yes,
writing at
it's
the same
hard.
time is
Yes.
a dangerous.
Yes. Okay. Shall we try it? So you can sort of map out like 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. You can sort of map out a stepwise progression for good voicing if it makes it easier rather than always leaping around. Ready? Here we go. 1, 3. Let's start here again so I can sort of conduct this. 3, 1, 4. Nicely done. 2, 6, 5, 3. That was so much stronger that time. Is it because the numbers
easier.
helped us? Yes.
It's all written
Yes.
out. Yeah, much easier.
But
Don't
finding
do
the
anything.
pitches, yes. You found the pitches a little bit easier too, I think. We sang with more confidence, it sounded beautiful. Okay, are we ready for the next step? You guys are gonna sing the progression, and I'm going to make up a song over the top of it. I'll just sing a little song. It might have words, it might just have pitches. And then maybe if you're brave enough, one of you could make up the melody. So we've got the chords and the melody. Are we ready? Okay, so again, I'll point for our next chord. And I don't think we need the piano anymore, but I'll refresh us. Can somebody sing a one? You got it, ready? Here we go. It is a great day today. The sun has gone away. What are we doing this weekend? I don't know. Hopefully rest. That was lovely. Does anybody else want to come up and make up a song? Our singer? Thank you, Shari. It takes a lot of bravery. Okay, I'll conduct. Are we ready? Think about your starting pitch. Ready, here we go. Na, 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 six, one, two, Yes, thank you. Beautifully done. Anybody else like to improvise? Everyone's avoiding eye contact. That's okay. We're going to be taking this experience to the piano now. So somebody's going to come up and play the chords as if you're the teacher in a piano lesson. And I'm going to switch to that longer bench in a minute. So someone's going to sit over here and play the chords. And I'd like whoever's playing the harmonies to play the root of the chord in your left hand and the rest of the chord tones in your right hand. Okay? So if you can see what I'm doing, I can turn the piano a little bit. Because now we're all going to be playing. I was going to write the pitches on my staff board, but I don't know if we need them. Would we like to write these out on the staff? Okay. So something like this. Just play whole notes. You can play your right hand in inversions, just like we're kind of having good voice letting when we're singing, or you can do them all in root position if that's easier, okay? As long as the pitches are all there and the bass line is there. That's what's important to me. And then if you want to feel a little fancy, you can add some rhythms. Alright, so why don't we just have somebody come up by themselves and play through the progression? Or we can have two people at once. Let's do that. Come on up, Carol and anybody else. I'll do it. Thank you. So slide on down to the bass. And the rest of us can improvise a melody as we're sitting here. So the left hand is the bass line and the right hand is the chords, the rest of the chords. 1, 2, here we go. Thank you. That was lovely. Let's switch. So Shari's going to go to the accompaniment, and Carol will play the melody.
I'm going to accompany the bass.
Yeah, the progression.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just playing bass notes.
And for the melody, can you play as if you just learned your C major scale? And this is really an opportunity for you to practice the C major scale, like you're a student. So maybe you're playing one hand, maybe it's the 5-finger scale, or maybe it's with the finger crossing. Okay? If that's too much, then you can ignore it.
I didn't quite follow what you said.
Okay, never mind. Ignore it. Never mind. Just play anything. 1, 2, here we go.
I'm just playing bass notes.
And the harmony. Sorry,
Oh, sorry. I
yeah.
do both because I played harmony the other day. I thought I was doing which. Okay. Sorry, I'll play harmonies.
Okay.
Here we go.
session. Would you like to try it? And yeah, Charlotte. Okay, so I'm playing you're improvising a melody. Okay. So I'll try to be more clear. What I was saying before is that this game is leading towards an experience in your piano lessons. Everyone's a piano teacher, I assume? You're the teacher and you're the student. So this is a game I play with my students all the time. The teacher, I teach the students scales, and then I ask them, they play the scales, they have the perfect fingering, and the good rhythm, and the good tone, and then I want them to play around with it a little bit. So when I use improvisation in piano lessons, I tie it to the scales that they're practicing. So that's where I was going with that. Play it as if you were just learning your scale. So, but you can also just play whatever you want because we're all adult musicians. So, make sense? Okay. 1, 2, here we go. Please make sure that this is a 4 in the bass, but not a 2. Because remember, if we have this in first inversion, we have this nice resolution. So it would be an F in the bass, right? Okay, got it. Right? Can we try one more time? Yeah. Whenever you're ready, you guys can start together. Would you two like to go next?
I'm gonna skip this
You're
one,
gonna pass?
sorry.
Okay, that's fine, no worries.
I'll do chords.
Okay. Nancy, do you want to play a melody?
Not really.
I'll be happy to. Okay.
Go
You
for
and
it,
Charles on the
Carol.
camera.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yes.
That are part of the chord that she's on?
No, just anything in C major.
Oh, that's
Yes.
easier.
Yeah. Do you want to have a try?
think it's one, no, she's
No.
fine.
No. Do it.
Try it, Mitzi.
Have a try.
Pretend like you're just a beginner student that's learning the scale.
Yeah, it could just be the 5-finger C scale.
Yeah.
I have a question with that. So would it be best for the student to use the right fingering, like you said, for the scale? So any note that you're playing should be that fingering for that scale when you're doing?
You mean for the student?
For just improvising, but using the exact fingering,
Well, when
or does that matter?
To me, yes, because this improvisation game in the lesson is part of scales practice.
Yeah.
It's a way to make scales more lively and musical and not just a technical exercise. So some things I do with beginners who are learning their 5-finger scales, right? I'll say, all right, you're gonna play a game with yourself, and your right hand is gonna play a little pattern, and then your left hand's gonna copy it. And they're just playing this little game. It's a memory game for them, and also to learn how 2 in the sense scale, 2 is 4. And then when they're doing that, why don't we try that game? Somebody want to come play? And it's okay if you don't know my chord progression because you're 6 years old, so you don't have to worry about matching what I'm playing. Okay?
So, but I have to match whatever I do in my right hand with my left hand? So,
And the parents love it if they're watching the lesson. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you just made beautiful music."
That is
You know?
really, really clever. I like that.
Sneaky little stuff.
So wait, just to backtrack, was she
Sure.
playing that progression?
No, maybe.
You
I
were
don't
in
know.
C, were you in C the whole time, like tonic position the whole time?
I was in C major position.
C
Okay,
fifth.
so you were playing that?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
So this progression works really well for any scale degree. Even if like I'm on the 2 chord and the student plays an E, it doesn't sound bad to me. It's a little dissonant, but it's not like a wrong note. So it's a nice like safe progression to just accompany students improvising. And when students get older and they're learning, for me, after I teach the 5-figure scales, I teach an octave scale with 2 hands so they can see where the half steps are. So before, I think the finger crossing takes a little bit more time. So then I'll just do the same thing. I'll say play any note in this position, and I'm playing something like this down here. Does anybody want to try that? Okay, so it's the octave scale without pinkies.
Very cool.
So it teaches them lots of things like how to hear a cadence coming, what note to end on, and kids love this, and like I said, parents really love it. They think it's incredible music that their kid is making.
I have a question.
Sure.
You mentioned earlier about the singing with kids and stuff. I have a couple of students who are really counting challenged, and I wonder how that works if they're singing words or something to the song, if they can't feel where the beat is, if they can't. And
Yeah.
so I've always, especially with those kids, focused on counting instead of singing what the melody is. Because when you're just holding a note out, some of them don't, their sense of timing, a couple of them are really bad.
Yes, yeah, that's really common, I think. Can they sing the counting numbers? Can they sing the melody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe?
Okay,
That'll be my
so
first thing.
still count, yeah, well, that's what I do with them a lot anyway, so I'll enforce that with them then.
Yeah.
What do you mean counting challenge?
I have trouble getting them to count, and you can tell that when they're playing, they have no idea where beat 1 is. A couple of, I have
Mitzi, I
2
have some
students in
things that can
particular.
really help. I'm happy to share.
Do you write it in the music?
Yeah, I've tried so many different things.
Yeah, when I teach rhythm, I teach walking. So they're walking and they walk with left, 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 and they're just walking steady, and then they do left, right, and then they do bum, 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 bum. And then they practice all of those rhythms, reading them. Once they go through this whole, they practice all those ways of walking across the floor, then they go to the piano and play rhythms with all those. So then they'll just do it left, 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 just 5 steps of sound, and then they'll go left, left, right, left, right, left, right, and then ba 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 ba. And usually a little slower tempo than this. But they get the relationship of those counts of those types of notes.
I mean, like for instance, you measure 4/4 and there's a dotted half note at the end. They just blow right through the rest. And they know that
Mitzi, I have
they
that
know
all the
these
time.
things.
I have that all the time too.
You get it all the time,
They don't
too?
look
Yeah.
at the rest.
No.
They look at the
don't.
notes and that's it, because
that's
we've
it.
been telling them to look ahead to other notes.
Yeah,
So,
and blowing through rest, or like, what is it, when a half note comes on beat 2, oh goodness.
It's interesting that we're discussing this because this issue is part of the reason why Dalcrose Eurythmics was developed in Switzerland. It's funny, someone has Swiss chocolates.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yes. Because Emile Jacques Dalcrose was a professor at a conservatory in Geneva, and he noticed that he had all these like virtuosos on violin and piano, but they couldn't count, they couldn't sing what was on their score. They were really only trained in playing beautifully. And he wanted people to become innately musical to help them be better at rhythm or at sight singing or just knowing what, how music feels and how it moves. So what Shari was saying is what I would say too is do some eurythmics types of activities away from the piano to get rhythm into their
Feel
body.
it in their body is
Yeah.
what I tried that too, yeah.
And you can
continue to try it.
You get away from counting too if you use your syllables, bum, bum, and then bum, 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 bum. And I always have them emphasize the first one in the group, bum, 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 bum. If they know how to do that and they do a lot of it, then when they're reading, they're not thinking 1 and 2, and they're thinking bum, 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 and they just do it automatically because they're not tied to counting. Not that counting's bad. Later we can learn counting, but that really helps. So then they have these other ways of doing it, and it's just innate.
So you can also use this progression if you're walking through your studio. You can play walking or marching music with a progression like this. So I typed out.
And I had a question.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
What if you have a few students, or at least one student that is very hesitant about improvising or like doesn't enjoy that process? How do you approach to kind of ease?
I would make it really safe.
Yeah.
I would maybe just start with playing one note, just one note. Yeah, maybe just. I start my students from the very first lesson making up stuff on the black keys or whatever just to match rhythm. So I think the more that you do it, the more comfortable. Even adults get with it. Improvising is scary.
Yeah.
It feels kind of vulnerable. So I would just make it really safe at first and not too many options.
Okay.
Yeah. Other questions about improvising? Well, I typed up this progression today in lots of keys in case you're interested in learning it, because your kids or students are not always going to be in C major. So I have this progression through 2 sharps and 2 flats.
Oh, yeah.
And in A minor. So here, I'll pass that around. Does anyone have any questions about Dalcrose pedagogy?
Did you know Barbara Grenoble?
No, I didn't. I just want to have a little plug. I'm hosting a workshop for one of the best Dalcrose teachers in the world. He lives in Brooklyn, and he's one of my friends and colleagues, and he's coming to Denver in May. And his main focus is improvisation. I don't know if that's what he'll be teaching, but it's going to be in Denver, and I was hoping I could pass out my flyer for this. He's really great, so I'll just pass these around. If you're interested in doing more Dalcrose type activities.
What date is the date?
May 10th.
Would you do, so with the singing, with the playing, I like the improvisation, but would you also suggest the students learn the chords on the piano versus singing, and then, or are you just mainly improvising in the right hand, the melody? For teaching purposes.
This was all the singing that we did today was for you, the adult piano teacher. I'm leading towards you being able to play the progression while students just play their scales. I don't typically have them sing when they improvise, but some of them do.
No, I guess what I'm saying is, do they do the chords? I mean, do they play the chords?
No.
Okay, so
No.
mainly you're just having the student improvise on the
Just melody,
melody.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can teach, this would be a lot for a kid or even an intermediate piano student, I think, this
Okay,
progression.
yeah.
So I do teach them as they get more into the intermediate land, simpler chord progressions than this, but not 8 bars. It's just 1, 4, 5, 1 usually.
For intermediate to advanced students, what would you do for improvisation?
I haven't taught advanced
Okay,
students.
okay.
And I've been kind of retired from teaching for a while. I think I don't know, I think I'd have to send an email about that.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't have a quick answer.
yeah, okay.
Yes?
Are there any specific books that you recommend
For
that
improv?
focus on Dalcrose?
Yes, a new resource just came out. It's not about piano improvisation, it's just about music teaching in general. Is that what you were thinking more of improv? It's really great. It's called Make It Music.
Okay.
I put also on that handout a link, dalcroseusa.org. You can find lots of information and resources on there. But this book just came out. It's called Make It Music. It's by Anthony Molinaro and Stephen Neely. And it's a deck of cards. It's a card game. I should have brought it to show you. It's 4 sets of cards, and you deal out the cards, and it's building Dalcrose or eurythmic types of activities. You don't have to be a Dalcrose trained teacher to use them, but it could be fun in the piano lesson for warm-ups. Like, for example, the first deck, it's all about movement. So the first deck might say, draw rainbows with your arm in space. And like, that's easy. Anybody can do that, music training or not. And the second deck, you draw a card, it's called Make It Music. So it might say, add vocal sounds to this. And then the third deck is Make It Challenging. So there's like 150 cards for each deck. So that's kind of interesting. Just ways to come up with different types of activities in your class.
How do you use improvisation in your life?
In my life? Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I'm a mom. My first thought is going to. You mean like musical improvisation? Okay. Well, my daughter's learning Suzuki violin, and I improvise accompaniments for that. I don't use the Suzuki books. I teach Dalcrose, and it's all taught through improvisation. I don't do like jazz improv, if that's what you mean. What did you mean?
Well, do you sit down and first thing you do when you sit down on the piano is improvise, or
Yeah.
do you read, or
Yes.
what's your?
I do both, yeah. I improvise music for my kids to move around to, my daughters.
Did you always?
No, not
As a
until I
child?
learned Something I love about studying Dalcrose is I always wished I could just sit down and everyone's like, play piano, play something. I don't have my music, I can't play,
Okay.
even though I could play like
That's what I
Beethoven.
mean.
But when I started studying Dalcrose, now I can sit down and improvise, and I really love that for myself. So, any other questions? Yeah.
I would love to hear how you, because I've seen you do it, how you improvise the notes I was talking about, quarter note, eighth notes, 16th notes. Can you play a little bit on the piano if you're going to have them walk those things or
Sure.
do those things?
Definitely, that's like our first lesson with kids, usually. We call it beat division multiple. It's always, I mean, we're after time too, so if anybody needs to go. But we have kids march for quarter notes, because if it's a kid, this is more rhythmic and more precise than just like walking. So we have kids marching. So you improvise a march for quarter notes. And they can pretend they're soldiers, which kids love to pretend they're doing something. And then when I go to divisions, it's usually like we call it tiptoe running. So I play high music, and then they can like be like a ladybug or something, or they're flying or whatever, like a fairy. And then for the slows, we have them lunge. Big steps, and they're dragging their toe. They're taking up space because, as Mitzi mentioned, it's hard for people sometimes to hold durations. So we play lots of games with those. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And with these progressions, I've given you, you can use these progressions, you know, you can, they work for any of those types of movements. It's a really versatile progression. So you can practice these in all these keys. That's why I said to be played in a variety of styles, keys, and meters. So you can sort of get these into your fingers. Any other questions? Thanks so much for having me today. This was really fun.
Thank you so much.